Thanks for joining me, and today I've travelled up to Oxfordshire. I've come to Linear Fisheries to see if we can catch ourselves a pike. So we're going to have a go on the Hardwick Smith's Pool first. Weather's not looking good today, high winds and loads of rain. Right, let's get ourselves round the lake and find ourselves a nice swim. Well, it didn't take long for the weather to turn. It started raining and then that was it. It was set in for the rest of the day. So I had a good selection of dead baits. I had some pollums, smelt, herrings and some good old mackerel. So I just show you today's rig. Pretty straightforward. So about 2 ounce lead there. That's free running, very resistance free. Down to a bead. Down to a swivel. It's got a tail rubber that kicks it away. We've got ourselves about what's that, a foot and a half, maybe, yeah, about a foot and a half trace, going down to 2 semi-barbless trebles. As you can see, I've got some bait flags on there, and what they do is they go on the actual, because they're semi-barbless, they just sit on the barbed sides of the trebles. So it makes it easier for identifying where the barbs are for when you're actually hooking up to your dead bait. So as you can see, I like to keep my rigs as simple as I can. You don't have to make it complicated to catch pike. Right, so bait wise, got myself some pollum. So that's the size of a bit bigger than a sprat, but I believe these have got air bladders in them, which is pretty good because it makes them sort of semi-buoyant. So if you're fishing over weed, you know, they're either sit flat nice on the weed or they're slightly popped up, which is handy for the pike when they're scooting around looking for something to eat. So smelt, pollum are one of my first sort of dead baits that are I'll put out, and then maybe I'll go on to the mackerel. So to hook your dead bait, like I said earlier, bait flag, which makes it really easy. Your first one, because that's got the barb in it. I go straight into tail end, which you'll find is your toughest area, and then the second one in, just give that a little pull so it's all nicely secure. And also the bait flags, what they do as well, they sort of just add a little bit of a flash of red, which sometimes provokes a pike into seeing it and maybe sort of taking the bait. So right, this rig, as you can see, is ready to go. Let's get this one out here and hope that pollum is on the menu today for pike. So the rods were cast out, not too far, just on the marginal shelf. Then it became a bit of a waiting game, just hoping that one of those pike were going to sniff that pollum out. So it didn't take long for the right hand rod to rattle off. So I reeled in the slack line and then I struck. Oh, it feels like there's quite a reasonable pike on there. Now I'm going to have to be a little bit careful, because to the right of me is a nasty snag and I don't want to get caught up in that. Oh no, just what I didn't want. The fish is snagged up. No, we're free. No, she's coming out now. That was lucky. Right, the pike's clear of the snag now. Right, it's out in mid-water, and now I think it's time to find the landing net. Well, I've just had my first glance at the fish. I don't think it's that massive now. Well, it looks like a double. Right, let's now concentrate, and let's see if we can get this fish in the net safely. Ooh. Oh, well, it's starting to come alive now. Oh, no, not quite ready. Oh, no, it's taking line. God, she's come alive now. Wow, I'm starting to gain a bit of line now. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. She's mine. Right, gently as we go. Put her in the net, land the net. Right, get her in the landing net. So we have ourselves a nice little pike. Oh, so I don't know, I might go double. Well, we're happy with that. So that's the first fish. Had that on alleged mackerel, full mackerel, just slightly popped up off the bottom near a weed bed. Well, I reckon that's about £8–9. So what I'll do Let's get him put down safely and get the scales out and let's put a number on him. Glorious looking pike. Markings are absolutely gorgeous. Wow, we are happy with that. £10, 5 ounces. So after releasing that fish, I decided to pack my kit up. I thought I'd have a go over on St John's. When I got there it was quite busy. There was a lot of carp anglers fishing. So what I decided to do was to set my kit up in between the carp anglers. There was plenty of space in the end. So I was all set up in the second swim of the day and it wasn't long and the rods are off again. That didn't take long. About 10 minutes. Watch that snag there. There it went over. One in there. Right, when pike fishing, I like to carry 2 unhooking mats. Because these fish are delicate. Also helps one to kneel on. And you've got plenty of protection there for the fish should it throw itself around a bit. Right, let's get this pike out. Right, there we go. I'm not going to weigh this one. I'm going to give that about maybe £12. So look at the condition of that. The markings are absolutely beautiful. That's a good thing. So we're on actually St John's. So there's a lot more pike in this one. A lot more prolific. So that's the second one today. So that was definitely worth a move. A little bit bigger. So yeah, let's get this one. Let's get this one back. Happy days. Right, I'm thinking it's time for a move, I think. We've had one fish out of here, lost one, so I think it's time to have a look around the lake, see if we can find ourselves another swim. The only problem is there are a few carp anglers on the lake today, and the next swim I fancy is going to be stuck between a couple of carp anglers, and it's also facing into this horrendous wind and rain. Which isn't going to be pleasant, but I'm sure it's going to be worth it. So if we can catch ourselves a pike, you never know. So I'm going to get all this lot packed up. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes, get this lot packed up, and move on around the lake. Time to up my game. It's gone a bit quiet. I've had nothing for a couple of hours, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject a little bit of krill inside my dead bait and create a little bit of a scent trail out there, which increases the likelihood of that being found by a pike fourfold, really. If it's just stuck down there, it's just relying on its own sense. You know, they're finding them like they do. Yeah, I found them today. but giving that a little bit of krill, really fishy smell, hopefully that might increase our chances of bagging another pike. So right, that absolutely whiffs. Let's see if pike fancies that. So I found myself a lovely quiet little area. This was right next to a water outlet. This just had to have a pike in it, and it wasn't long, the rods were off again. Right, time to take this one steady. I'd already lost one about 10 minutes earlier. I reckon this was the same fish. It's always a good idea to get your bait back straight on the spot if you've had a fish drop your bait. I've had many a bonus fish by doing this. Right, now it's time to get that landing net and see my well-deserved prize. I managed to catch this pike at about 45 yards. It was close to a weed bed. So after a short fight, I managed to coax my prize into my landing net. So it looks like it could be the biggest pike of the day. Looking around about £13. Oh yes, we're happy with that. Right, I think the best thing to do now is to let her rest in the margins here for a few minutes whilst I sort my kit out.
That looks a bit bigger. Right, I'm looking back. Well, there's number 3. £13 of St John's hard fighting pike. Once again, beautiful markings. That was on the pollen again, and that was on that with that krill. So definitely like the krill. Hard fighting that one, and yeah, up a nice fight. It's quite long actually, that fish, very long and lean. Look at that, very long. What's that? Probably about 2.5, 3 foot. Right, it's starting to rain. Let's get this little beauty back. Well, it's getting on for, what, 4 o'clock now. And I just thought time to reflect on today. Been a good day actually, having 3 fish so far. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. What's been key to success today? I think keeping mobile, that's sort of been the main thing today. I've fished, what, that's 5 swims I've fished since I've got here. Kept on the go. Keeping an eye out, sort of looking around, see if I can see any fish topping, small fish topping. You know, if I had seen any, I would have been straight on to them. You know, that's where the pike are going to be. I have tried to fish the sort of areas where the wind's not sort of getting, it's sort of a little bit calmer, not as windy, a bit mild, hoping that, you know, the smaller prey fish are shoaled up in those areas. Today has been a growler. Oh god, this pike fishing, this winter pike fishing is not for the faint-hearted. You know, it's I'm absolutely covered in mud, wet, cold, and sometimes I think I'll be glad when I'm fed up with this, but you know, I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's been a good day. Like I say, it's 4 o'clock now. Thing with this linear fishery, if you come up here and you do a day, the gates open. I think it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so you can get on quite early. Problem is they close at 6, and if you don't get out by 6, I think you have to stay in your car then till the morning. And I do like night fishing, but I just don't fancy a night sleeping in the car till the gates open tomorrow, because I've got to go out, and I don't think the wife's going to be, she won't be happy about that. So yeah, so right, it's 4 o'clock, so I've got about another hour and a half. I'm thinking about moving one more time. I'm in this swim now, it's gone a bit quiet, so yeah, I think I'm going to pack up and try my last swim. So that's it. Got about 20 minutes now, get myself up to the van,
get my kit in the van and get out of here before I get locked in. So yeah, cracking day. Loved every minute of it. Hope you have too. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the bank soon. Tie lines.